Okay, good. I'm gonna get started. Hello, I'm Dama Jew. Thank you so much for joining me. And I had this interesting brainwave of I wanted to share what you can get done in 20 minutes in your digital product business. Sometimes you think I'll just create a course. Sometimes you think I'll just whip up a quick template. And even if I use ChatGPT, it'll be fast. But the challenge, hello, for those of you joining me live, thank you for being here. The challenge is though, it takes a long time. Like some of this stuff takes a long time. I think I'm going to whip up something really quick. I'll just do a paid live workshop or something like that, and it'll all happen fast. Unfortunately, it doesn't always happen super duper quick. It can take longer than we want. And there's just some instances when we get stuck, whether it's the copy, whether it's what to name the thing, um, how you want to set up your tech, whatever it is. Sometimes that stuff just gets in the way and slows us down. So, oh, hi, Reed. I'm just going to pop you backstage. There we go. Reed's my guest. Coming on in a minute. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen, and I just want to share my screen to keep myself kind of focused. And the point of today's live stream is not only just to inspire you to take action in your business, but if you've been feeling like you need support, if you've been feeling like you've hit a wall with the tech, with the copy, with the messaging, what to freaking name or call or price a thing at, if you just want somebody strategic in your back pocket. I've been working with folks one-on-one for in the online business space for 6-7 years now, and just recently have started working with folks on a one-on-one consulting basis, and the results have been incredible. And I've had a lot of people ask, are you doing this again? Are you doing this in Q2? How does it work? Lots and lots of questions. So I want to take you behind the scenes of that in this open house. So let me share my screen real quick and take you behind the scenes. I can see the chat, so if you have cues, just hit me up. And if I miss them, I promise to come back to it. Can you hear me? Okay. Okay, share my screen. Here we go. All right. Can you see my screen okay? Yes. Okay. All right. Let's dive in. So there's no two shakes about it. It is a lot of work to create a digital product. I, at this point, have created like 40, if you count all my templates, if you count my courses, my trainings, my group programs. I created a lot of them. And before I did this for myself to work with clients and customers and students, I did this for clients one-on-one. I built these funnels for them. I came up with the ideas. I did the implementation. I wrote all the copy, and all of that is percolating in the back of my mind, and I want to help folks with it. And I see a lot of people getting stuck on little things, sometimes big things. Like I don't want to minimize that. If you're stuck, don't feel bad, because we've all been there. But I just wanted to give you some inspo and ideas of little bites of things that have a massive cumulative effect. So as a quick intro to me, hey, I'm Dama Jew. I'm a funnel strategist and a marketing automation expert. I also happen to be a big time Thrivecart junkie. I started building funnels for clients I want to say it was 2019. I built my first client funnel. That was so much fun. And then I was instantly hooked. I love the problem solving. I love the journey. I love the strategy of it all. It just is so much fun for me. It's super enjoyable. And then in 2022, I pivoted to one-to-many. I lovingly, with gratitude, let my clients go so I could focus on one-to-many courses, trainings, workshops, group programs, you name it. I just want to give a quick shout out, because everybody always wants to know, what is your tech stack? I use Thrivecart for funnels, sales pages, courses, and my affiliate program. I'm using Drip right now for my email marketing. I've used lots of them. Love that. And Drip's just super nerdy for automation nerds like me. And then in the back end of my business, as you'll see a little bit of today, I use Airtable for everything, and her prettier cousin, Softer. And then my main jam really is that intersection of digital offers, Thrivecart, email marketing, the tech, the strategy, and not just click here, do this, the boring part of the tech, but the strategic part of tech, how to leverage that tech to help you make more money, help more people have more impact and really share your expertise. So before we go too much further, I promised to give you a little behind the scenes. I forgot to put it on my agenda here because I'm a silly Billy, but I wanted to give you a little behind the scenes of what it looks like to work with me. So Dama On Demand, drop a yes in the chat if you've heard of Dama On Demand before. It's how I like to work with course creators, digital product creators, service providers, coaches on a one-on-one basis to help them take more action with the strategy and the implementation of it, the tech, the stuff, the copy, the stuff that holds us back. So one of the things is Dama On Demand is essentially, I can't be everywhere all the time for everyone. So I get a lot of DMs, hey Dama, can this? Hey Dama, can you do that? And I can't help everybody, but when I'm working with someone one-on-one, I am fully invested in their business. I am all up in it. I am creeping. I am digging. I am excited. I am pumped for them. I have literally fist pumped on client calls before. So before we get into a roundtable chat of folks that I've actually worked with, I thought, can I just flex on my systems for real quick? I want to show you what the back end of this looks like. So Dama On Demand has, in the past, I've done asynchronous chat access. So for 3 months, you had Slack access. You can send me things and I'll send you a Loom. There's all kinds of elements of that. I'm not going to show you a Slack screen because that's boring and we all know what Slack looks like. But a lot of people were curious what the laser coaching sessions look like. What does a 20-minute Zoom call with me, what can we actually get done? And so I want to show you some of the back end of that really quick. So this is every single person who joined Dama On Demand or who's worked with me on this gets this personalized dashboard. I made myself one, of course, because she's cute. But essentially, when you book a one-on-one call with me, it's recorded, it's transcribed, we establish your next task, we work on it together, we brainstorm, so that as soon as we end our 20-minute session, you go off and implement. But I also want to make sure you have all the tools for that. So sometimes we'll do like step by step on the call. We'll talk through things. We'll reread copy. We'll flesh out an offer or refine an offer, brainstorm bumps, all kinds of different things. But all those replays, all those calls live in a personal dashboard like this. So I designed this in Softer, which on the back end, it's all managed in Airtable. So if you know me, you knew it had to be Airtable. And this is all static data, and then this is dynamic data. So for every single 20-minute session that you have with me, when you click this little toggle, it's like, well, what did we work on at that point? We worked on your affiliate program. We worked on the marketing. We worked on this. We assigned your next task. Here's what you need to make edits. So we'll go through and review things, and you get very actionable. This is actually one of my clients' calls, and this is actually one of my clients' sessions. What they're seeing on the back end. So yeah, I wonder if they'll recognize their stuff. But anyway, so for every single one, you'll have these details. It's also searchable. So if I wanted to find what are all the calls where we touched on the affiliate program, I can just start typing in this and it's going to, of course, behave slow because I'm on a call, but there we go. And it's going to pull up the 2 specific sessions. So the one we were just looking at, we worked on it again. We sent an email to your list to join your affiliate program. So you can actually find those. And then when you click on them, they open that replay right up in here. I use Fathom for all of this. So you don't have to worry about taking notes. It hands off a transcription, a summary, your action items, and all of that lives in your dashboard and also gets delivered every single time we end a call. You get a replay, but you also get the transcript and the summary, what your next action item is, and then you can go on and book your next one. And all those, there are some quick links here. I did have a community at one point for this, but it was kind of quiet, so I'm going to let that go. You also have an ability to request a coupon. So for example, when you click this, it goes to a form, you select your name, and then like a day later, you get a coupon delivered to you, all automated. Thank you very much. It all happens very seamlessly and everything lives in this one central place. Because when I've worked with people one-on-one, or even in like a mastermind or something, I get frustrated when I can't find the stuff I'm looking for. Where are the links? What do I need? First things first, how the heck do I book, right? So there's linked on the page. And then all the replays, you do not need to dig through your email. Even though I send them to your email, you don't need to dig through your email. It all lives tidy and organized. It's all just hanging out in here. And this is all kept for at least 365 days. So if you ever want to refer to it, you can just come back and it's like, what did Dama say about softer? Like, what's that? Tech? And you can come right back to the 3 calls in which we discussed it, which is super handy. So that's just a little flex. I have a massive, beautiful system built in Airtable that is on the back end of all of this. So a lot of things are very streamlined and organized for you. I just want to show you a little bit of what that looks like on the one-on-one. Before we get into the 30 different things you can crush, you can do in 20 minutes, I wanted to invite some of my friends on here. I'm going to invite Roberto Candelaria, Reed. Oh, I can't multitask. Let me try and click. Reed Gallagher. Hi, Reed. And Hannah Murphy. Let me see. Did I do that right? Yes. Okay. Can you tell I'm kind of a newbie at live streaming with all of these like fancy things? I'm used to just being like going live on Instagram and just being like, here we are. All right, so can you hear us okay? Reed, I think you might be frozen. Can you hear us okay?
I can hear you.
Okay, cool.
Can
All
you?
right, so what I wanted to do is just, these are 3 folks who have worked with me in the past. I invited them to be my guests. They were paid for their time to come and share their experience working with me one-on-one. But their experience is going to be unique. And I've had a lot of people ask me, what can you actually do in this? So let's just start with quick intros. Roberto, do you want to introduce us to your business?
Sure. Hi, y'all. I'm Roberto. I love helping people find the money gaps in their business and fix them. And sometimes it's affiliate, sometimes it's JVs, and sometimes it's just in our head. So I love helping people find the money gaps and fix them.
Love it. Awesome. Okay, Hannah, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I am a virtual assistant, have been a VA since 2017. And then for the last few years have also built up kind of a coaching side to my business as well, helping other VAs and service providers to grow their business too.
Amazing. Thank you. And you're in, yeah, she's coming to us from Australia. Okay.
Yes,
So,
with my Australian accent.
yes, love it. Okay, Reed, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Reed. I'm a photographer first and foremost, but I'm also a business coach for photographers. So I love helping other photographers grow their business on the digital marketing side of things. And I'm sure we'll get into this in just a couple of minutes too, but I have a new little business venture as well where I work with other coaches and service providers on launch strategy. I'm the one who kind of helped me clarify all those details for the new business. I'll save it for a few minutes, but that's a little bit about me.
Awesome. Yes. Yeah, we're definitely going to touch on that, Reed. I can't wait to talk a little bit about that. So let's start with I just have a couple quick questions for them. Let's start with you, Roberto, if that's okay. You and I did this laser coaching style, the Dama On Demand, for a month in February. And you were like one of the first people who was voxing me like, oh, let's do this thing. So what were you and I able to accomplish in the span of a month? What did we work on together?
Gosh, I feel like what didn't we work on? I feel like to answer that, I'm gonna start by saying, like, as a coach, as a consultant, we're sometimes in everybody else's business so much that we don't have time to be in our own, which is why Dumb on Demand was so attractive to me. I was like, oh, somebody that I can focus on me. And so we retweaked my affiliate program in Thrivecart. We talked out a membership offer that I'd been eyeing and literally built out the entire offer in a month. Sales pages, ideation, affiliate program, launch copy. And we really just cleaned up a lot of back end stuff that was on the infamous to-do list that never got to done. And so that's really what I focused a lot of time on was how do I just get all of this stuff here that's one day, and just took it one day at a time and made it happen.
Yes. It's so funny because Roberto and it first started with he messaged me. He wanted me to be part of his summit, so he invited me to be part of his summit,
Mhm,
and he was like, "Your collaboration form. Where did you get that? How did you do that?" And I was like, "Oh, I built it. Oh, I just slapped it together, you know." And so
mhm.
the first thing he said, it's like, "I'm joining Dom and Demand, and I want to learn. I want you to set that up. Like, I want us to set that up." So I was like, "Yes." Starting with an Airtable systems build. Yes, I love this. So we did the Airtable systems build, and then Roberto was having that issue with his affiliate program where it was like sending out the automated the super annoying, you've been approved for blah blah blah
Hmm.
products. And it was like, when Thrivecart snitches on you when you're creating a new product. I have had so many people come and work with me specifically like, can you help me fix this? This is so annoying. And they make it very easy to get to kind of sneak in to kind of sneak that feature in, and now you're stuck with it forever. So that was one of the first two things that we tackled, and then we spent the rest of the month working on the membership build. So I'm kind of curious, you touched on the membership build and you said we talked it through, but like we really, like we sat down and ate that
Oh yeah.
membership for
Oh
like a
yeah.
good
Like,
weeks. Yeah.
yeah. I
Like
mean, we
what were
went
we able to
through.
do start to finish? Like where was the membership at the beginning and where is it now?
So the membership at the beginning was an idea that it was going to be a online, almost like learning academy, like I feel most people do. But the
Mhm.
more we started talking it through, I was just like, girl, I feel like I'm building this academy because people say that's what we're supposed to do. But at the end of the day, what successful business owners really want is to connect with those successful business owners, get their questions answered. If they want to be in a membership where even if their clients are there, they can still ask a question and not feel like they can't get coached because their clients watching them or their competitors watching them. And like, I want to create that. And I don't know, how do we make coaching anonymous? And we just like kind of went through that. So we fleshed out the offer, fleshed out the pricing, wrote the sales page. The sales page is built. Um, like basically we could send emails tomorrow to sell it, even though it's going to take a couple more days to sell the email. But like we literally went from ideation to validating the offer to testing it with people to doing focus, like not focus groups per se, but talking with people, the ideal client, figuring out their pain points, what they liked, what they didn't like, and adjusting everything on the fly. And doing all of that while we had, I live in Texas, y'all. While there was a freak freeze here in Texas, and we had our ceiling cut open while moving from hotels every 3 days while we were displaced. And so it also provided amazing structure just to be like, let's keep this going and have that own accountability for myself.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Roberto literally was like, "Do you see that? Do you see this? Like, what started as a 6 foot hole in your ceiling and ended up being like a 15-foot wide
Yeah, yeah, the
chunk of
entire
the
living
ceiling
room.
gone?" And then every time we'd hop on a call, I'm like, "Where are you now? What city or where the hell are you?" So yeah, it was
That's
a
what it
lot
was
of
like for a
fun.
month.
I think when you have a setback like that happen, you're sick or you have a trip or you have the sky is falling, your ceiling breaks through.
Literally.
How easy is that to just say, you know what, I'll deal with the business stuff later? How much easier would it be to just like, I'm not going to prioritize building out this membership, but despite all that, we were still able to get it done. What would you say just about the accountability piece, knowing like this is a finite time and we can get so much done only if? How is that accountability part for you?
It was amazing. So I was one of those people, sorry, Hannah, sorry, Reed, that like as soon as I did my stuff, I literally went and I was like, let me book the first call of the day. Because if I book the first call of the day, then I can block time in my calendar right after to go do whatever we talked about, even though I didn't know what the next step was going to be sometimes.
Mhm.
And so it's like I just got to calendar my call time plus my own work on myself time before I even got to client calls and everything else in my life. So
Yeah.
that worked great for me to be able to do that.
Yeah. Incredible. It's funny because the three of you worked out. Hannah took the last shifts. Roberto took the first, and Reed was always right in the middle. So it just worked out. Like you guys just had your little schedules worked out, and it was incredible to watch you, Roberto, go from this membership idea that was just a glimmer in your eye to like, oh, I'm literally looking at a finished sales page. And at this point, all we're doing is finessing CTAs and like, let's move this image, let's change this. Like we were really got start to finish on it.
Yeah.
And if you're here on the live, at some point you're absolutely going to be hearing about this membership. I told Roberto, like as we're building it, I was like, also before we even really get to the sales page, I'm joining this. I'm joining this, right? Like it's so good. So I'll be sharing about that. Okay, awesome. Any last little things you want to share, Roberto? Because I know you have a hard stop.
Yeah, so I would say like the most important thing I would tell to people is like if you're even thinking about Dama On Demand, um, be thinking about like, hey, what have I been putting off in my business or like tech or an ideation or a dream? What have I been putting off that I'm just like tired of putting off for one day? Because literally, you can have like a bunch of one days every single week with Dama if you just say yes to yourself. So that's what I would say. It's like say yes. and they say that I'm willing to go from one day to like, let's just make it happen now and make that decision for yourself and your future clients.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Roberto.
Thank
And hop
you.
off whenever you've got to go. I know you've got a
Okay.
jet. Amazing. Okay, let's chat with Hannah next. So, Hannah, I want to get the elephant out of the room first. You're in Australia. I'm in the East Coast. How did we work out the time zone? Was that a big headache for you?
Well, at the start, I was like, "Oh no, I hope she can do it because I really want to, I really want to do this package." And then it actually worked out perfect. Like our time zones aligned. For you, I mean, I'm an early riser, so it was like slightly earlier in the morning, but it just worked so perfect, and yeah, it was great. Not a problem at all.
Yeah. Would you agree that, like, kind of like what Roberto said, you kind of came to this with a to-do list of like the things that were lingering, that were nagging?
Yeah, 100% the same. And I think I initially wanted to join it because I just like watched you in the industry and I was like, I just love the way you run business. I love the way that you make things feel simple, light, easy, but super strategic. And so I think I had been looking for someone that could kind of just steer me, like brainstorm over, help keep me accountable to, and yes, that annoying list that was always in the back of my mind that I wanted to be able to do. So that was definitely why I joined, and yeah, it was amazing.
Oh, awesome. So when you were thinking about joining on Dama On Demand, and once we got the time zone thing sorted, because that was a really easy fix for me too. I'm glad that worked out. Did you approach it with like, here's 17 things I want to do, or here's like 3 or 4 big things that I hope we can accomplish? Like, kind of what was your approach to it?
Um, Honestly, when I first joined, like I had that like yeah, I think there was like 20 plus things on my list. But I joined not knowing what to focus on, and I think that was my biggest thing was I don't really know what needs to be a priority or what doesn't because when you have such a long list it kind of like everything was getting maintained in my business but I wasn't feeling that momentum just because I didn't know what projects to work on and I feel like we didn't even really fully discuss like all the list and all the things to do, but it just naturally in the coaching came out of like, okay, this is the first thing and the next thing, and like everything got prioritized, and it just felt like so clear to know what to focus on and not feel like in the back of your head there's so many things I have to do, but I'm not doing any of them. This was like, okay, I'm actually doing and accomplishing this one thing, and the rest of the list kind of worked itself out. So,
Yeah, so we started with our kickoff call, and it's like, okay, tell me about your business, and then very quickly we're like, ooh, okay, let's get into the meat
yeah.
of, what can I not wait to get my hands on, and what can we not wait, what are we excited to get done, and we
Mm.
mapped out this logical process, and then all the other little things just sort of shuffled in. So speaking of that, what were you able to do in even just a month in February?
Yeah, it's funny. I feel like I have the same response. Like, what didn't we do? But the first thing we worked on was my affiliate program. It had literally been on my list to do for like a year plus. And I had bought courses on affiliate programs in the past, and like literally within 1 week, it was all set up like invited people, like sent out an email, invited people to it, and it was like done. And I just haven't thought of it. Like it's just so good. So that was the first thing we did, and then we worked out my funnels in Thrivecart. So like upsells, where to put the products where it makes sense, like all of that kind of thing. And also just tweaking the copy on my website and finding clarity in all of that messaging. Like it's not like I had no messaging, but it was just tweaking it so that it made sense and it flowed well. So we worked on that, and then I'm trying to remember, we did so much. We worked on emails, doing a mini launch. We worked on I feel like I should have written a list of all the things we did,
I'm sure I
but
have
it
it
was a
somewhere.
lot.
Yeah, that's great. So that was one of the things. It's like, well, I have these digital products. Hannah had these brilliant digital products, but you had to dig a little bit to get to
Mm.
her, to get to them on her website. And when I asked her casually, gently, have you ever done a promotion of these? And she was like, not really. So that was like, okay, we rejiggered your website to go from
Mm.
I'm a service provider who secretly, quietly has for amazing digital products to here's how I can help you either as a done for you or with these digital products. And we kind of judged a lot of not just the copy, but I think also the UI and how accessible and easy those products were to find. And then,
Yeah.
yeah, all the stuff. The affiliate program. So Roberto came to me with an affiliate program that needed tidying. You came like, I want an affiliate program, and this has been on my to-do list, and I've bought courses, and we were able to do that in two 20-minute sessions. Really, the first 20-minute session was like, let's crank out your affiliate program strategy, let's crank up the setup, and then the next session was like, let's incorporate your email list and get it set up so we can just start onboarding affiliates right away. And it was kind of fun because I tested it by joining Hannah's affiliate program. And then later when she did a promotion, I was like, yes, I'll be sharing this. This is very good. Yes, I'll absolutely be sharing this. So we mapped out a launch for you. We added order bumps and we streamlined not just adding this one order bump one place, but adding it lots of different places, which was really kind of, once you get the hang of it, it goes quick. And you had never done an upsell before either, right?
No.
Yeah, so that was a new thing. When you did your launch, did anyone buy a bumper and upsell? Take you up on that?
Yeah, they did. And
Heck
it
yes,
like
they
blew my
did.
mind. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much easier than I thought it was.
Yeah, there is something about I find that upsells is like a thing I will stay yapping about forever. It's one of my favorite things, but everybody is very intimidated of it. And I will say that Thrivecart doesn't necessarily make it easy. So that's where I slide in. I'm like, no, don't click that. Click here. Oh, we're gonna set
Mm,
that here. We're gonna. It's just knowing, it's that the
mm,
$10,000 question of knowing which wire to cut. Right? Don't click that. If you click this, it will be a nightmare. Trust me. And those little things. So I'm
yeah.
more than happy on these sessions to just be over your shoulder. Yeah, click here, do that. Oh, if we want this, or let's talk this through. And so we set up the rules, the automations, all that goodness. So amazing. So what was it like, Hannah? Just as you were going through all these things that we were working on, we did all of that in 28 days, right? Or less. We did all of that. Do you have any idea how long that might have taken you if you refined your website UI and copy, refined your setup bumps and upsells, set up an affiliate program and did a mini launch? Do you have any like a guess of what that would have taken if you'd just gone it alone?
Months, like, like absolutely, and like just the practicality of doing it. But I think all the mind space of it as well. Like even if I wasn't working on it, it would be taking up space in my mind, of doing it or overthinking it or like just all of that. So I think it actually really did blow my mind how
Ah!
much I was able
That's
to
so
get
good.
done.
That's so good. So my last question for you, Hannah, is having this kind of ongoing support. Something that I put on this on the page talking about this offer is being a solopreneur can get really heavy. We have biz besties and that's helpful, but really the buck stops with us. We are the final decision on, do I launch? Do I cancel the launch? Do I run ads? Do I not? Do I do Vish? Do I not? Right? We have so many decisions to make. And it's not like a traditional company where it's like we have a board of directors. It's like it's me and my dog and he doesn't care what I do, right? So like what was it like for you having that strategic partner to help kind of lift some of that mental burden of just making the decision, should I do this, should I not, thinking about timelines? How was that for you just on a sort of mental weight kind of?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I was very much last year pretty burnt out in business. And this container, like I have done a lot of coaching programs before, a lot of masterminds, a lot of one-on-one coaching even. And this container felt so different. It really did bring the joy back of business again. And I think what really helped was like sometimes in coaching calls where they're like an hour long and that kind of thing, like great, but it feels like a lot of mind space still, and you come out of the end of it and you're like, oh, I still need to do this, this, and this. But I loved how like quick and short the calls actually were. Like that was better than a 60-minute thing because I was able to so clearly, like whether it was you over my shoulder brainstorming, like whatever it was, it was so clear and actionable that my action step, I didn't even have to overthink it. It was like quick, like I can get this done for our next call. Like this feels light and easy. And at the end, I was, able to get more done because the process, just being able to filter and funnel like through your strategy, like you've amazing in business, like I was saying earlier, but it really lightened the load because it was very simplified. And you said to flex on, you were flexing on your systems before, like seriously, they are so good. It's such a simple process to book a call, find the replay. Like it just makes me feel very seen in a coaching experience, like nothing's left. And I was actually able to get things done, but just sometimes it wasn't even getting it done. It was just like the relief of like, oh, that actually is finally done and done well. And now if I need to talk about a random thing, like it's easy to do. And it just, it really has taken off that mental load.
Amazing. It was amazing also to watch you, Hannah. Hannah may seem like a kind of more mellow, quiet person, but she is a tenacious businesswoman, an absolute beast at systems and sales systems especially. So it was very cool to watch you work behind the scenes and to have even a small role in that. So I'm so glad we got to work together. Hannah and I are working together still, and we are cooking up something very cool that I will be telling you all about soon. But
yes.
yeah, well, lips are sealed for now. Amazing. Thank you so much, Hannah. Okay,
Thank you.
Reed, I've saved you for last because Reed and I have worked together two different ways. We've done the laser calls, and we also did the async version, the Slack chat. So the asynchronous version of this of Dama On Demand is it's 3 months of Slack access. Message me at 2 a.m. I don't care, whatever. It's every single day. Chat support, not on the weekends, but you know what I mean. So it's chat support, and then also has this element of asynchronous feedback. So you can submit a sales page, you can submit an issue, you can submit an offer plan or your Black Friday promotion plan, send that over, and then you get detailed feedback. So Reed has seen sort of both iterations of this. So I want to start with you, Reed. Reed, I also just one last thing. Reed is the most incredible implementer. Like if you give Reed an idea, it just like by the next session, Reed had it done. And I'm just like, geez, Reed is a beast, an absolute beast, and a pleasure to work with. So hi, Reed. So we work together. So I kind of feel free to answer however you feel comfortable, but we work together in the, over Black Friday with the async over Slack. And then we also work together this year with laser coaching calls. So I want to see what were the differences of those two coaching or consulting experiences like for you?
Yeah, so I'll start with the one we just did in February. That one I loved a lot because I was able to do so much super fast, but also have everything like broken down into really quick wins in terms of like you would give me something to do, I'd pick up a call, I'd go do it, come back the next day, say what's next. So I feel like in February I was able to do a lot of little things that kind of like what Roberto was saying. My to-do list was endless ideas, but I was able to work through them kind of one by one in the order based off of your gratitude. Flash forward or flash backwards to Q4 of last year, I kind of came to you with more bigger picture items in terms of, hey, here's what I have.
I am having a little bit of a hard time hearing you. Sorry to interrupt.
No, let me repeat. Can you hear me better?
It's breaking up a little bit. I missed a big chunk of that.
keep...
I'm sorry to interrupt you. It sounded like you were on a roll. I'm like dying to hear what you were saying.
No,
I think
better.
It's a connectivity thing.
Okay, better. Can you hear me better now?
Or yeah, maybe I can better. It might just be because it sounds like there's a chopper going by or something.
Yeah, I was like, it's a beautiful day outside, and then now there's like an ambulance and a chopper happening right now. So that could be it.
Okay, so you were flashing back. It started to cut out when you said flashing back to the async version.
Okay. Yep, so flashing back to Q4, I feel like with that we were able to focus on maybe just a little bit of like a bigger project in terms of we could go really in depth on like a sales page and I could submit that to you at any time. Like I definitely turn some things in at 2 a.m. Then you would send me like a Loom recording with feedback and I could go through that kind of on my own time. So I guess that's a great title for it because it really was a little bit more asynchronous. I was able to do things kind of at my own pace versus in February, it was a little bit more, okay, I know every day at 9:30 I'm going to hop on a call with Dama and we're going to work really hard for 20 minutes. So I liked both. Both structures were great. They are just a little bit different.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely have a different feel for them. And you weren't the only client who did both. I had another client who did both, who really preferred the Slack version. And then other people prefer the video, the Zoom call version. But would you agree with this assessment, Reed? For the async, the Slack version with the Loom, like submit things and you get like a detailed Loom, that's kind of better for folks who who like to process better by writing or by typing or that sort of thing, and are less of verbal processors. And you also get a little bit more detailed copy review. I can only review so much copy in 20 minutes, whereas with a Loom, I can go through and read every section of the page, pause. And a lot of what I do copy reviews, I'm reading the page and I'm thinking, could I tweak this ever so slightly? So a lot of the feedback that comes in those Looms is more specific messaging and copy tweaking. And I can pause the Loom as I'm recording it, so I have a little bit of time to think too.
Absolutely. I would agree with what you said in terms of my opinion. So you are in if a learner who wants that time process style to learn. So let's say like I was working on a sales page, I submitted it to you, and I had to kind of sleep on it, kind of through it a lot of time, like marinate for 2 or 3 days, and come back and work on it, and we can really dive into that deep. I would go the asynchronous route and would agree that's more writing, we text back and forth, but it's more submit a lot versus when we were doing the with the laws that worked well for me in terms of dumb I've called of processing out loud as we're talking back and forth. I wasn't thinking on it or sleeping on it overnight. You were literally getting my brain dump. And sometimes I would say something and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so smart. Like, she just listens to me say that. And other times it'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe I just said that in front of her. And she's like listening to that terrible idea. But it's actually good because you're able to process that with me in real time.
Yeah. I think you're super smart. For what it's worth, I think you're super smart, and I love working with you. You alluded to this earlier, but in February, we had a dedicated month where we worked on one specific thing day in, day out. We didn't look at all your funnels. We were working on your new company. You want to chat a little bit about that and what we were able to do?
Yeah, so I kind of came to you with this idea that I had had for 2 years. And it's funny because I found like my written down notes of the idea with the business name and what it was going to be from 2 years ago, but I never did anything with it. I bought the domain, I had the idea, but it was always like, oh, I'll do that next quarter. Oh, I'll do that next quarter. And I was like, you know what? I could work with Dama right now, and she's saying we can work together every day. Let's make it happen. So I essentially came to you with this idea for a business. I've always been like an in-person service provider, I prefer. And so I wanted help creating an online service for other business owners. And I essentially came to you, and you were able to help me take this idea and everything. We mapped out an offer suite, kind of solidified what exactly are these services that I'm going to provide, and we broke each down service by service. You helped me copy for the website, and we were able to look at every single page to the site. And I think I'm a good copywriter when it comes to maybe sales copy, like for emails or Instagram captions, but writing about myself, a company page or a home page, that's really hard for me because it's not the same type of sales copywriting. And so I really love being able to have you give me that real feedback in time. So be able to do that. And then on top of that, once we finished all of the actual business structure, we talked about a marketing plan for it. So rolling out a social media plan, creating a launch plan for it, and then we worked on creating a lead magnet. And I essentially had zero idea what I was going to do for this lead magnet, but you were able to help take all the ideas and go for it, and then flesh that out. Finish the lead magnet. We also did an opt-in page for it. So we really did it in those 20 days.
Yeah, we did an absolutely bananas amount. You came with an idea, and a name, and then a sort of broad strokes idea of what the three offers you wanted, the done for you offers you wanted to create. And then we ran off. I mean, writing web copy without a doubt is the absolute hardest copy to write for yourself, because write an about me page, cringe. It's so hard to write an about me page. And I think some of this, when you're introducing a new brand, the messaging is so key. Who are you talking to? Who is this for? Who's the right fit? And so we really spent a lot of time refining and tweaking messaging, and then creating like the structure of the whole thing. So it's, I can't wait to see the final page. We did a lot together in 28 days. And yeah, like you mentioned, brand new lead magnet that was just sort of an, we were spitballing ideas, we refined it together, and I was like, what if you did this? And I'm already sort of simultaneously convincing myself that this is like the greatest lead magnet on earth, because I want to buy it. Like, this is a thing I actually want to buy. And you're saying I'm going to design it as a freebie. So I can't wait to share. I can't wait for folks to see that, because it's such a valuable lead magnet that they can run off and implement. And yeah, we built the whole thing together, which was really cool to see. Okay. So when I, kind of Hannah chatted about this, and Roberto chatted about it too, I don't position Dama On Demand as strictly an accountability. I'm not just going to be here like, hey, where are your deadlines? Where are your deadlines? Like, it's not an accountability program. This container is for done with you. It's a consulting thing, right? So it's all your business decisions, strategic business decisions, and then also feedback and refining all those things that you're bringing. But what would you say about the accountability piece? How did that impact you?
Yeah, I think these things that stands out to me, when I look at like coaching or consulting, one of the things I tend to call it is,
All right,
like,
I
if we
can't
had a
hear
call,
you.
it'd be like a cute, oh no, it's the words, but okay, let me try now. Better. I'm
A little bit
keep
better.
going.
Yeah.
Okay, I think okay, a little bit better. I think one of the things I look at when I would think like traditional coaching, it'd be like Q&A time, where I show up to the call, I ask you questions, and then you answer them. Dom On Demand is different, because yes, I might have questions and you might give me answers, but I'm leaving with implementation or an action step. And it's not like a forever ending to-do list. It's one task, maybe two, but it's one big task to work on, and it gives me really clear clarity of what I should actually be doing, like, to move forward and see results. Not necessarily, hey, here's a deadline, it needs to be done by March 30th. It's instead taking an idea and breaking it down into really easily implementable actions, instead of saying, hey, this is your big picture, this is where you want to get. In order to get to the outcome, here's what you should be working on today, here's what you should be working on tomorrow. And then come back to me, tell me how that went. Let's chat about it. If you're stuck, I'm going to help you get unstuck. Or if you finished it, great. Let's review it. I'll give you a little bit of feedback, and then I'm going to be ready to give you that next task and that next thing that we're ready to look at. So you're right. It's not necessarily a full like project manager or accountability, but it's kind of all the best of that bundle of one thing, breaking it down to really easily action steps. And that's how my brain works, is I just want to see what actually be doing, give me the task, and then I'm going to go in and do it and get it done.
Yeah, I think that's helpful for a lot of people, where it's like, that's why we don't, when we buy these like 17 module, 300 lesson, all inclusive courses, we never even start them, because they're just too big. But if it's just something short and actionable, and that's really where I love to focus and spend my time and my energy, is short, actionable, something you can get done in an afternoon, not full 8 hours, but like an afternoon, like an hour of dedicated focus and crunch time, has had a huge impact in the way I attack things in my business. And I was like, I really wanted to share that with other folks, and also lift some of the burden of decision. So thank you so much, Reed, for joining us and for your insights. Appreciate you taking time to come on by. Okay, so
Of course, thanks so much.
yeah, thanks for being here. All right, so there we go. I'm going to go back to my screen share, folks, and I wanted to share some of those ideas. This is not just ideas. I actually examined, what did we do? So I've worked with dozen plus clients, and what can we actually do in a month, in a week, in a quarter, or even in a 20-minute session, because I had a lot of folks saying, I don't know if I need this yet, because I don't even know what I need. So consider this a little buffet menu of some of the things you can work on. These are some commonalities that I worked with a lot of people that I worked with frequently inside of Dama On Demand, either the async version in Slack or on the laser calls, whichever works better for you. So copy and messaging, this comes up a lot. So we actually refined, rewrote, and tweaked the messaging on a homepage, especially with that ever important headline. We worked on a product idea, we refined it, we named it, we took this idea of a lead magnet and really refined it. You don't think about creating a tagline for a lead magnet and how important that is because it's a free product, but what you say about your free product, what you say about your products, including your free ones, makes such a difference. So we've polished sales copy, replaced vague copy, repositioned a service so that it was laser focused to the ideal client and not just to everybody, which is so easy to do. So that's some of the copy and messaging refinements and stuff I worked on. When under the category of offers, products, and sales pages, we mapped out a complete funnel strategy. Like Hannah mentioned, she didn't have any bumps or upsells, so we mapped that out. We actually took her list of product ideas, matched them, so every single one had a bump and an upsell, and then we set about implementing them. Where to place it, how to position it, how to price it, which is such a big thing that everyone wants a little bit of feedback on. We wrote product descriptions, taglines, bonuses, the ever important, and I don't think this gets talked about enough, the ever important distinction between a bonus and an order bump. Could this be a bonus? Sure, but should it be an order bump? Maybe. Yeah, I like to work with people on that. Definitely worked in Thrivecart on refining a checkout page to improve conversions, which had a direct impact on more sales for one of my clients. We simplified a multi-tier offer into one irresistible package because it's just an easier thing to say yes to when it's nice and cohesive and all inclusive. We adjusted the offer to bring in those client results. I love email marketing. So with one of my clients, I think you already can guess that was Hannah. We mapped out a flash sale promotion sequence, which she got lots of sales from and she was really happy with. We wrote pre-launch emails to warm up to a cold list. So somebody who hadn't emailed their list since November, well, she was getting ready to go into a launch. So we've devised a way to warm up that list and start positioning her next offer as a wonderful solution. We worked on CTAs. I'm big on CTAs. Tell people what you want them to do, where to click, where and why to click. We created sales sequences just in the realm of tech and tools. We set up an affiliate program. We fixed an affiliate program. We integrated with ConvertKit and did that magical little thing where you can email people their affiliate link directly via ConvertKit, which is a really cool thing. We worked on convert boxes. One client had paid for ConvertBox 2 years before, but had only used it for one thing and it wasn't quite set up right. So we went in and did a whole ConvertBox revamp and built a new ConvertBox, a nice pop-up, the tagging, got that all set up. That client was also having a live session, a live workshop that we did a sales page for, and we did the whole tech side of how do you do a live, how do you schedule it, how do we set up an add to calendar button, the Zoom settings, the exact Zoom settings that you want to use so you get the best quality of replay. I had a client who had this amazing digital planner that people were literally harassing her for the checkout link, and we just needed to create the checkout together. So once we got that tidied up and we threw a new cover on it, it was just a matter of time before in a single 20-minute session, we banged out a headline, tagline, features and benefits, and threw that sales page, threw that checkout up so she could email it to her list. And we did all kinds of stuff inside Thrivecart, and also Drip and also Airtable. And then in the category of strategy and positioning, some of the ways that I worked with people, we worked on pricing quite a bit, pricing for an offer, pricing for Roberto's membership, how to position it, how to position the bonuses. We brainstormed lead magnet ideas. We talked about marketing channels and really where your best leads are coming from, how to find that and how to lean into that and get more leads from the channels that you're already using. We talked about affiliate programs, as I mentioned, all kinds of different things. So I just wanted to give you some ideas of things that I worked with people one-on-one inside, either in Slack or on Zoom in these quick little sessions. Little bite-sized pieces is the key, folks. If you sit down and say, I want to create a course, it's impossible to do unless you break it down into, okay, I need to decide what I'm selling, what I'm going to call it, how I'm going to price it, what I'm going to teach, how I'm going to market it, how I'm going to deliver it. So even that right there, taking, I want to create a course, breaking it down into 6 steps, and then within those, breaking those down into 6 steps, into smaller steps that are just more bite-sized and approachable. But knowing what to go, where to go next, what to do next, and analyzing opportunities, that's where people can get stuck, and that's where I love to help people. So since you're here, I want to tell you a little bit about Dama On Demand. I am going to be enrolling folks for Q2, which is starting April 1. It's 3 months of working with me one-on-one. My eyes on your business, no long group coaching calls that you have to sit through and hear other people's stuff, and can be boring. Sorry. It can be boring. It can be overwhelming. It can be a time suck. Anytime that you spend in Dama On Demand is 100% on you. So it's a one-on-one, one-to-one container. So I have 2 different options for you. I want to tell you a little bit of what it looks like to work with me. And we've kind of talked about this already. So you have 2 options. If you would like, you can do daily async support. So let's talk about what that looks like and what's included. For every single person, it includes a 45-minute kickoff call. We can do it on Zoom, or if you want to keep it async, we can do it on Voxer. I've done Voxer onboarding before. That's okay with me. And this is where we really identify some financially very lucrative opportunities for you in the upcoming quarter, and also some low-hanging fruit that is just like, let's just get that off the to-do list that's been sitting there for 7 months. Let's just fix your affiliate program. We'll do it real quick. Promise. It'll be fast. So we'll identify the quick things, the quick wins that we can get done ASAP, and the bigger projects that we'll work on 2, 3, 4 different projects throughout the course of a quarter. So everybody gets that, and it is listed here as a Zoom call, but we can do a Voxer one if you prefer to keep it strictly asynchronous. And then after that, you get access to a one-on-one chat with channel with me. So you could use Slack, you could use Heartbeat, whatever you're more comfortable with. You have the choice, and you have access to me. We just chat. So if you have an idea, or if you wonder, hey, have you ever done a micro audio summit? Or hey, I'm thinking about pricing this at $97. What do you think? So we can really chat through anything, strategy, or hey Dama, have you ever set up this? Or hey Dama, I've tried to set up this, sequence, but I'm having issues. Or how can I set up this? Or what can I? It's really just whatever you want to talk about. I'm really just your biz bestie on demand to chat through whatever pertaining to your online business. And I'm always going to guide you into, let's focus on the more important things that you established at the beginning on our kickoff call, but also every random question that comes up, sure, ask me about it. You literally, it's like pick my brain on steroids. So in addition to the chat support, you also get I call them strategy SOSs. They're really like a Loom feedback. So if you've been working on a sales page, if you've been working on an offer, if you have this idea for a new membership that you want to turn into something, you really want to see it come to fruition, you can send that to me and I will record within 48 hours, usually faster, a detailed overview and refinement of it. I'll walk through strategy, we'll refine messaging. These are incredible for sales copy reviews. As I mentioned earlier, I can just pause and really give laser focused feedback and give myself a little time to think about writing alternative copy for you, or different ways of phrasing that are more narrow and focused, that might be more appealing to potential leads. So the strategy feedback, you get 3 of those a month. Submit whatever and we will get it back to you. And I think this asynchronous version, the Slack version, it's really best for people who are tech savvy, who don't necessarily need like an over the shoulder tech support. Click here, don't do that, do this, do that. They really want big picture projects, big picture strategy support. They're not big on Zoom calls, and that's not just an introvert thing. That's not an extrovert thing. That's just I'm Zoom called out, or I have a newborn baby, or our time zones are funky, so I can't always be on Zoom all the time for whatever reason. So we can do this asynchronously, because you can just use the Slack or Heartbeat app from your phone, and you can just say, wake up one morning with, I had this idea for X, Y, and Z. What do you think about this? What do you think about this as a bonus? And you can just send that off and then go about your day. So a lot of folks like the asynchronous version because you're not tied to a certain timeline. And also, I don't really state this here, but you have a little bit of time to think things through. You don't have to answer right on the spot, or have any work to show per se, like you would with a laser session. You can actually just kind of simmer on that idea. And then when you kind of have more refined thoughts about it, then you can come back and we can continue to chat about it. So this is also really great for folks who process ideas, who think things through, who like to make strategy decisions kind of at a like not a slower pace, but like to take their time with it. And they also process better by writing, making lists. These are the list makers, these are the writers, these are the readers. This is great for them. So the other alternative is working with me with unlimited laser calls. I call it a laser call because it's only 20 minutes. It's very short. So it starts again with a kickoff call where we'll identify different options and opportunities for you, some low-hanging fruit and some things that have just been chilling on your to-do list for too long, and we'll map out a plan for the quarter. And then after that, once we've done our kickoff call, you can book an unlimited number of laser calls. So I'm available for those Tuesday through Thursday. They're only 20 minutes long. They're on Zoom. And as you saw at the beginning of the dashboard, you get a replay, you get a summary, you get an action item. And the action item is key because it's not just unlimited calls. These are very purpose driven. So if, for example, you want to set up your affiliate program, I might say, great, map out your affiliate program, decide what you want your commission, your payout, your cookie length, blah, blah, blah to be, bring that to the next call and we'll set it up. But I'm not going to log into Thrivecart and start setting up an affiliate program if you haven't first done the pre-work of the critical thinking of, well, what would I like my cookie to be? What products do I want to include? Are there any do I want to exclude? So you can't come to the next call without having done your pre-work, but you can see how that accountability comes naturally because it's like, well, I got to do this. I've been putting this off for months, but I have a session with Dama tomorrow, so I better go and finish it. So you have to do your pre-work, and then once we do it, we'll work on whatever we're doing during the call. You get the replay, and you get also your next task. So for example, if you mapped out your strategy, we set it up on one product in Thrivecart, and your homework would be go set it up on the remaining products and create a tag inside ActiveCampaign for your affiliates. And then the next session, we'll finish everything up. We'll clean it. We'll set your rules, and then we'll connect it to ActiveCampaign. So you kind of have to do your homework before we move on to the next thing. But I did have folks who booked the very first session of the day, the 9 a.m., who did their thing, did their task. They were on it. They were firing on all pistons and then booked another session at noon. So it is unlimited. You can book as many slots as you find, but you got to do the work in between. These are really best for folks who either have tech issues, there are tech things that are holding them back, or they just have overthinking or the decision paralysis that's holding them back. You might want more support in decision making. So it's kind of nice to talk that through on Zoom. It's also best for auditory processors, folks who like to think through ideas, decisions, process them verbally. You want to talk it out. You want feedback. You want feedback, but you also want to know, are there elements you're not considering? You just do best when you talk it out. And you also don't mind Zoom calls. You like that it's a quick Zoom call. It's not an hour-long thing. So there's 2 different ways to work with me in Q2. And I wanted to show you what's included for everyone. I didn't mean for that emoji to be giant, but okay. So monthly Voxer office hours. If you've ever used Voxer, it's a walkie-talkie app. And essentially, it's just like in college where you could have a drop by with your professor, pop by, ask them a question. Voxer office hours, it's like a block of time where you can just stop by. You don't need a Zoom call. You're not ready to implement or take action on any one thing, but you just want to flesh an idea out. What if I created a summit? What if I decided to create a group program? What if I decided to offer a done for you? I love AI and I have AI courses. What if I decided to offer a done for you AI bot VIP day? How would I position that? Do you think that's a good idea? How might I price it? So we could spend the Voxer office hours casually chatting about this big idea. None of it's ready for implementation yet because it's a big idea you're still talking through. This is also great for Slack people who are on the async version. This is still asynchronous because it's not a call, but to get a little bit more time to talk things through and get feedback that is not just chat related. So it's a really nice option. You'll have one of those per month, time zone inclusive. So I always take a look at who's enrolling and then I'll pick a time zone, a period of time that works for everybody who's enrolled. And then you also get 30% off any of my offers the entire time we're working together during Q2. That includes new stuff that I'm coming out with. And if you wanted to just book an additional 60-minute session, you could just book that and use the 30% off for that as well. And then for the first 5 clients who joined Dama On Demand, I'm also giving you $500 in credit. That means I'm giving you like a gift card, good for whatever I sell or do for $500. That's just going to be for the first 5 clients that joined Dama On Demand, and essentially spend it on whatever. If you've been wanting to set up your affiliate program, but you don't want to do it just yet, buy Pay Your Pals, grab that and you can implement it later. Or if you wanted to, and you don't have to spend anything. It's just basically, I'm going to give it to you for free because you had credit and you can cash that in, or you can save it, see if you need it throughout the quarter. And at the end, if you want to re-enroll for another month, you can even apply that towards working with me again. I want to touch base on the investment because this is one-on-one. This is me with you every single day for 3 months. It is a higher ticket investment. It's $3,000. There'll be Klarna and Afterpay and all the payment plan options. You can pay via PayPal or Stripe. And it is an application based. So I am asking folks to fill out an application, mainly because I want to know a little bit about your business. This is not really for folks who've never created a digital product before, who have a 9 to 5 and have no foundation of a business. They haven't started a business. They're just kind of thinking about it. This isn't a great fit for you because I'm not going to be the best person to walk you through every single step of creating a new brand, designing a logo. Like, that's not me. I'm not going to be the best fit for you. So the application is really just for me to understand where you're at with your business, because I don't want to take your investment and then say, oh, I can't help you. I want to make sure that I'm inviting folks to work with me that are the best fit, that it's going to be most beneficial for you. So you're definitely going to get something out of it, and it's not just going to be over your head. Okay, so that's what I have to say about Dama On Demand. I'm going to drop the link to the application in the chat. And if you have questions, what are your questions? What do you want to know? What can I answer for you? Okay, so I got a question. Danielle wanted to know what I'm using to live stream. I'm using Riverside. I'm just kind of new to Riverside, so it seems to be going okay for me. Emily wants to know, can we voice memo in the daily async support, or is that text support only? You can voice memo. I'm fine with that. And sometimes I'll voice memo back. I think Slack puts a limit on it of like 1.5 minutes. That's good for me. Because it can't be voice memos all the time, because sometimes I volunteer at a kitchen on Mondays. I'm not going to be able to listen to it. I might be at the dentist. I might not be able to listen to it. But yeah, you can voice memo if that's something that you just want to explain. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm a-okay with that. Any other? I'm going to drop the link to the application in the chat. Anyone else interested or have any other questions? What do you think? What did you think about our incredible panelists and the amazing results they were able to accomplish? I was so proud of the amazing work they were able to do. Okay. Any other questions for me? Questions about the program? Questions about what it's like to work with me? Any tech that I can or can't help with? Any other questions? Okay, I'm really glad you had people in different industries on the panel. Yeah, I'm big on that. Roberto he works mainly with just high ticket coaching. This was the first time we really mapped out something one to many for him, because he works mainly one-on-one. So this is a really fun experiment to go through it. He's done it before. He has workshops, but it was fun to work through start to finish. Like I like to say, an offer that was just a sparkle in his eye when he joined. And then turned into this thing that I'm literally handing over my credit card to join because it's so good. The application should have shown up in the chat. I don't know why it's not, but I'm definitely going to email it out this afternoon, this evening as well. Any other questions for me before I wrap it up? And as we go through, if you have questions, you can hit reply and ask me. I am enrolling for Q2, so that's starting April 1. So you can apply anytime, but there is only just 5 spots with all that credit included that you can use to go on a shopping spree in the business. Okay, the link isn't showing in the chat. Rats. Let me try over here. Did that work? There it goes. And it's got a big yellow sign on it too. There it is. Okay, excellent. Yeah, feel free to ask any questions, hit reply on my emails. If you have time zone concerns, I'm very interested in trying to meet you where you're at. So with Hannah, was able to work something out. I worked with another client in Dama On Demand who's in Australia as well. That client has an established coaching business and is creating, similar to Reed, creating a whole separate personal brand in addition to her thought leadership, as she's creating this personal brand. So we worked through website copy, a launch event, promotions. We just poured fire on her lead magnet funnel right as she was going into a bundle. So really exciting to see how that results. Danielle asked, do you need the pro plan with software to create those custom pages? I'm on a pro plan. I don't know if you need a pro plan for that particular thing. Software is pretty incredible, but Danielle, if you want to work with me on software, like let's freaking go. I'm working with Hannah on a really amazing repeatable solution in software, and we've been building it day by day. It's been really cool to build it because I love the software. I love the Airtable stuff. I love the system stuff. I just kind of nerd out about all things systems, marketing, automation. One of the things that I was joking around with a friend earlier is like, someone was asking me about drip. How do you do this on drip? How do you do that? We were chatting about webhooks and all this nerdy stuff. And I was like, yes, join Dama On Demand. We will whip your drip into shape. We will create that 6-month sequence. We can create your 4x4. We can set up custom fields, a really dialed in workflow strategy and naming strategy, all of the good things. Okay, amazing. Well, I'm so glad. Thank you so much for joining me. I wanted to keep this to an hour, so I'm going to cut it here. If you have questions, comment on this video. Comment on the video because then I'm definitely going to see them and be able to share them, and everyone else will see them too. So you can always kind of keep an eye out for what other questions came up. Thank you so much for joining me live. This was an absolute blast, and I'll see you inside.